nothing but the truth.
I won't put the numbers at this point of time because
But where is the wind blowing?
I think somewhere it will be 50-50. Somewhere it will be 50-50. It will still be tougher. It will not be easy for the BJP to get back to the whatever they have got in 2014 and 19. It will still be tough.
There is a Mahayuddh, a battle of epic proportions that is currently on in election 2024. It is being fought in the state of Maharashtra, which has 48 seats, one of the largest in the country. The outcome of this war has far-reaching implications for the future of this country. Hello, I'm Chengappa of India Today, and in this episode of Nothing But the Truth, we will look at the key factors influencing how Maharashtra will vote and why it is such a do-or-die battle for all the key combatants. First, let's look at what are the political equations that make Maharashtra one of the key swing states in election 2024. The main reason is that in 2019, the Congress party failed miserably in direct contest with the BJP. It lost as many as 175 of the 190 seats that in 2019 where there was a direct contest between the BJP and the Congress. So, willy-nilly, it has fallen upon the regional satraps to challenge the might of the BJP. There may be more, but there are mainly 4 regional satraps or leaders that are challenging the BJP. While Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has successfully staved off the saffron challenge in the south in 2019, it is the regional stalwarts in Maharashtra, West Bengal and Bihar that are giving some semblance of an opposition to the BJP. Of course, we have to see how much of it. In 2019, Stalin did stave off. The votes have been done in Tamil Nadu, and we now have to see what's happening. Let's also not forget there is Andhra Pradesh that is run by Jagan Reddy of the YSRCP and Odisha headed by Naveen Patnaik, the Chief Minister, who is the leader of the BJP. Both are regional leaders, but these 2 Chief Ministers have in the past seemed to have had a tacit understanding with the BJP not to oppose it on most national issues. Though that truce may have ended with the BJP fighting both the parties, both the BJD as well as the YSRCP, Jagan Reddy's YSRCP, in the Lok Sabha as well as the assembly polls, which is now being held simultaneously. These regional parties are now what stands between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his place in history. Remember, he wanted 370 seats for the BJP and 400 par for the NDA as a whole. But if they fail, these regional parties could well be consigned to the dustbin of history. That is why this battle for Maharashtra is the key. Now, to give us a perspective of this mother of all battles, I am delighted to welcome my colleague Sahil Joshi to the show. Sahil is managing editor of TV Today's Mumbai bureau and is our top expert on Maharashtra for both Aaj Tak and India Today TV. So welcome, Sahil, to Nothing But the Truth.
Thank you so much for calling me in Nothing But the Truth. And I promise that I will say nothing and nothing, only but truth.
And that's what we look after. So let's begin by analyzing the 24 elections with a little background, Sahil, because Maharashtra is really a Mahayuddh. Or Mahabharat, if you'd like to call it as well, in terms of the kind of parties that are fighting, the fact that uncles are fighting nephews and wives are fighting with daughters, and there is a whole lot of things. But let's go back a bit in time so that we get this in perspective. In 2019, this was the stage that was set. What happened in 2019 then that can explain the perspective that we see in 2024?
You know, interestingly, the state like Maharashtra, which is the largest state after Uttar Pradesh, and it gets the second largest number of seats to the Lok Sabha in Lok Sabha elections. Interestingly, in Maharashtra, every party has its loyal vote share, and since 1990, Maharashtra has never seen a full majority government. It has always seen in assembly. It has always seen a coalition government, a government of pre-poll coalition or maybe the post-poll coalition, but always been a coalition government. So that shows that Maharashtra has never given a full mandate to one political party. So there is no particular dominance of one political party since 1995, if you look at it. Interestingly, since 2014, things started changing because BJP became a dominant partner. BJP became a dominant leader in Maharashtra. It became the the party with the maximum number of assembly seats. But despite that, despite its various tries by the Bharatiya Janata Party, the way they could manage it in UP, they couldn't do it in Maharashtra. Their vote share always remained at around 27 to 30%, despite Modi wave, irrespective of the Modi wave. In 2019, the BJP leadership realized it. They tried to do it in 2014 assembly elections. They tried to go solo. Every party fought on its own. The Congress, NCP, Shiv Sena and the BJP. For the first time after 1995, there were four big political parties fighting against each other. And that actually set the tone. Who has how much vote share in Maharashtra, that was finalized in 2014 assembly election. So that, that made it clear that the BJP cannot cross the 30% mark on its own. The Shiv Sena, NCP and Congress, they were almost around the same kind of a vote share, 16 to 19% vote share. So, that created a very interesting situation that none of the election can be won if you don't have an alliance partner. Right. So, the BJP realized it very quickly. They mend their ways. They do the course correction, what we have seen always. What
and in 2019, they combined with the Shiv Sena.
They combined with the Shiv Sena. Their relationship was completely at they were at the loggerheads. Uddhav Thackeray has made it very clear that henceforth he is not going to have any alliance with the BJP. But despite that, the BJP understood that there needs to be an alliance. And that's why they reached out to Uddhav Thackeray. They had an alliance. They didn't, by that time that Balakot strike, Pulwama attack hadn't happened. So if that would have happened, the situation might have been different. But the fact is very clear. The arithmetic of the Maharashtra politics is very clear that you need an alliance partner if you have to have a major chunk in Lok Sabha elections. And that's why that particular alliance happened. But there was a clear rift, which came out after the Lok Sabha election.
Before we get to that rift, let us give the, a sense of what happened in 2019. 48 seats, 41 was won by the so-called NDA, which included the BJP and the Shiv Sena. In that, BJP wins 23 out of 25, and the Shiv Sena wins 18 out of 23. Am I right? That's the exact figures. And if you take their vote percentages, if I recall, 28% is the BJP, 23% is the Shiv Sena, and the other parties, which is the Congress and NCP, share, they get 16% each.
16% each.
Right.
And also there is one interesting aspect of that. The CSDS had done a survey on that. So what they could understand is that, out of 100 votes polled to the BJP, 36 votes are because of the Modi magic, the Modi, the Modi factor.
Right.
But when it comes to the Shiv Sena, the alliance partner, the 100 votes Shiv Sena gets, out of that, 25 votes are because of the Modi factor. So that means the 75 votes what Shiv Sena gets, those are the votes of the Shiv Sena itself. They get it on their own. That's Shiv Sena vote.
Right.
So the BJP also realized it very clearly in that election as well, that they need those 75% vote which Shiv Sena has in its kitty, and that's why they need an alliance partner whenever they have to go for a Lok Sabha election, when they have to get the majority.
Now let's move quickly to the assembly elections, because it happened soon after that in November 2009, and there something very strange happens, which will then explain it. Quickly, if you could tell us on the assembly, really what was there? 288 seats, 144 is required for a majority. What was the breakup between the BJP, Shiv Sena, and why did the fight then? Why did they split after that?
So basically what the BJP had thought that they could increase their tally, because now they had Shiv Sena on their side as well. So in 2014 they had 123 seats odd. So they thought that even if they are contesting 175 seats, they will hit at least 140. That will give them a room to form the government on its own. But that didn't happen. Their tally actually went down. They lost 16 seats than their previous tally. They came down to 105. Shiv Sena got 56. And that's where Uddhav Thackeray realized that now the game is in his hand, because BJP is too far away from that 144 mark, and there is no way they can form the government if they don't have their support. And that's where the game started. And then he reminded them that you had promised me that 2.5 years chief ministership will be with the Shiv Sena, 2.5 years with the BJP. Whether it happened, it didn't happen. Amit Shah has its own story. Uddhav Thackeray has his own story.
What is your sense? Was there any...
Okay, I'll just tell one thing. I attended the press conference which happened after that particular meeting. In that meeting, the exact words used by Devendra Fadnavis, because he addressed the press conference, he said that we will have equal sharing in the power. That's what he said. Now that equal share in the power, does that also mean that they had decided to split the chief minister's position halfway in 2.5 years for BJP and 2.5 years for Shiv Sena. That they didn't make it clear. Neither in the campaign it came out very clear, but those were his words, that we will have equal power share when we will come to, will get elected after a
And the fact was, Uddhav Thackeray also knew that the NCP had won 55 seats, the Congress had won 44 seats,
right.
And the combination of these three,
right.
which finally happened with the Mahavikas
Eventually
Aghadi came, that also gave him the leverage to it, but he surprised them and broke the alliance because of this particular fact, that he was not given the chief minister, or his man was not given.
That's because he was not told that, okay, we'll be giving you the chief ministership. That is where it started happening. The BJP was banking on the fact that they thought that whatever happens, Sonia Gandhi will never agree to have an alliance with the Shiv Sena to form the government. Right. And that's where they can get hold of Uddhav Thackeray and tell him, ki boss, you have no other way. Please come back with us. We'll give you deputy chief ministership and the things will be back to normal. But interestingly, Sonia Gandhi agreed, and then rest is the history.
Right. So then they ruled for 2 years. The Mahavikas Aghadi is there. Uddhav Thackeray is the chief minister of Maharashtra for the first time. June 2022, an earthquake happens in Maharashtra, right? High politics. Tell us what happens in that, and that will lead us to the next unfolding scene that happens in Maharashtra.
You know, I'll take our viewers to the India Today Mood of the Nation survey. Right. You also must have...
yes, we carry it.
We carried it. So you must be remembering it very clearly.
Right.
That survey actually created a havoc. You know, let me tell it very clearly. And of course, I mean, the BJP had their own surveys as well. They knew what is the ground situation. They understood that if the three parties together, that particular Mood of the Nation survey in January 2022 clearly showed that if the elections happened today, I mean, on January 2022, almost 32 seats will be going into the MVA, the Mahavikas Aghadi's kitty, and the BJP will be left with hardly 10 to 14 seats.
Which is a stunning reversal.
Yes. And even with the BJP's tally, they had won 23 seats in 2019. It's almost 10 to 12 seats down. And that actually brings down their overall tally from 2019, you know. So that actually shook BJP a lot.
And just to explain how it arrives is that if you total the vote percentages, and just if you do an on the paper thing, it comes to 65% of the votes.
Yeah, almost.
So the combination of the Congress, the Nationalist Congress Party, and the Shiv Sena amounts to a phenomenal amount, with the BJP stuck at 20%. More than 50%, with the BJP stuck, as you said, at around 32%. So the BJP has to take remedial action. And then what happens?
So then the BJP started working on the plan, and obviously, you know, they had their people. You know, they knew that Eknath Shinde is not happy with Uddhav Thackeray being himself a chief minister. He thought that he will be made the chief minister. That has always been the Thackeray family's way of doing politics. You know, they always believed in remote control. You know, to run the government with the remote control. But maybe Uddhav Thackeray thought that the time has changed. You know, that in 2019 was the first election when Aditya Thackeray, someone from the Thackeray family, decided to contest assembly election. He won the assembly seat. So obviously, you know, the hint was very clear that now the Thackerays will not do politics sitting at home. They will not run the government with the remote control. They want to have their own person inside the government. That was very clear. But nobody thought that it will be Uddhav Thackeray who will accept the responsibility of being a chief minister. Now, there are multiple versions of it. You know, I think that Uddhav Thackeray always knew that he would be the chief minister. But, you know, to give the reason, it was portrayed as if that Sharad Pawar actually convinced him that, you know, if you don't become the chief minister, this Mahavikas Aghadi government won't run, because the senior leaders from NCP and Congress won't accept the leadership of fairly new Eknath Shinde. So, you know, it's better that you become the chief minister, and then, you know, that's how we can run the government. And that's where the problems started in Shiv Sena. Till then, it was very clear that, you know, his father, the Shiv Sena Supremo Bal Thackeray, used to sit at home. He used to order the chief minister or whoever the leader that, you know, I need to get this work done. I need that you should do this work. And that's how he used to play his politics. And that particularly things changed, you know, when Uddhav Thackeray came.
How many times was the Shiv Sena in power before Uddhav Thackeray?
Only once, from 95 to 99. And they had a, you know, experience of running the 4.5 years government.
Right.
Because they also had the election.
And the chief minister was Gopinath.
The chief minister was Manohar Joshi, and then Narayan Rane was made
Right.
chief minister for 6 months. The rest of the 6 months, that time the early elections happened in the
Right.
center as well. The Vajpayee
Right.
government went for the election in 2004, 6 months earlier than their term ended. So similarly, that happened in Maharashtra as well. So that is where the rift started coming in. Also, somewhere Uddhav Thackeray's, because of the COVID situation or whatever may be the situation, he did not understand that you cannot be a chief minister and also run the party. Being a party chief, he can afford to not meet people regularly. There is a way of life for the Shiv Sena chief. That life you cannot lead as a chief minister. You need to keep meeting your MLAs. There will be thousands of queries, the problems, they will keep coming to you and you will have to meet them. Somewhere that detachment started happening, that distance started happening, and that's where the BJP understood that, okay.
And picked up Shinde.
And picked up Shinde.
And in June 2022, he breaks with 48 MLAs, forms the government.
And interestingly, originally, Eknath Shinde did not have those many MLAs with him. Once Shiv Sena MLAs started realizing that now that this government is going to fall, so they need to be at the side of power. So slowly they started defecting to Eknath Shinde. That time this plan was not clear whether Eknath Shinde will actually put a claim on Shiv Sena symbol. Just one line I would like to add to this. Interestingly, within Shiv Sena has always been a party in opposition. But that time Shiv Sena was not in the form of a political party. Right. It was more like an organization, right? Political organization. Since the time Shiv Sena started contesting assembly elections since 91, and it spread in Maharashtra beyond MMR region, beyond cities like Aurangabad, Pune or Nasik, then Shiv Sena became a political party. So all the defections, the lust for power, to be in power, all those things started sipping in Shiv Sena also after 1991, and they have already tasted power from 95 to 99. So the MLAs also knew the importance of being in power, being part of the government. And that's where they started defecting when they understood that Uddhav Thackeray will not be able to run this government now because there is a larger defection towards BJP.
And let's
the
also,
center is also,
yes.
So
and there is the BJP
which
factor.
Eknath Shinde called a Mahashakti. Mahashakti is with us. That's what he had told his MLAs.
So after a year, the BJP then makes its next big chess move.
Right.
It wants a double insurance and then breaks the Nationalist Congress Party. Right. And remember, this is just, I think, a month before that, the Prime Minister Modi actually calls it the naturally corrupt party or something to that effect.
Prime Minister in the Bhopal speech, just
Right.
not even a month back, just 3 to 4 days before this defection happened, had said that, he was talking about the corruption during UPA's time, and he had specifically mentioned the irrigation scam with, Ajit Pawar in Maharashtra is associated with the irrigation scam. The case is going nowhere. But again, for this third defection and the second defection, or what you call the cushioning for
the insurance policy.
The insurance policy. Again, I would bring in the MOTN survey of India today. In January 2023, we came up with another Mood of the Nation survey, if you remember. Even in that survey, if you see still the tilt was towards MVA. MVA was still getting more than 28 seats.
Right.
So it's still quite less than what the BJP was expecting. So they knew that the arithmetic is still not on their side. They could hardly reach the 40% of vote share mark, despite Eknath Shinde being on their side. And there were a lot of speculation about it, that, if they have to reach to the 40% mark, Eknath Shinde would need to at least get 10% of the vote share, which was very difficult, despite he having 40 MLAs along his side. Still they found it very difficult. So they needed the third partner. And I remember writing at that time that, the MOTN survey makes it very clear that the BJP will need a third partner. And eventually, within 4 months of time, it started appearing that that third partner will be Ajit Pawar. It was not clear whether Mr. Senior Pawar will also agree to that or not. And eventually in July, what we saw that there is a split in the NCP. Ajit Pawar, again with 40 MLAs, shifted and joined the government, Shinde and Fadnavis government in July.
So that brings us virtually update. Now, when you see 2024, what are the big issues? You have this very peculiar situation where You had mentioned earlier that Balakot was a major factor in 2019. Right. So was the welfare schemes of Prime Minister Modi that really put it, and his own charisma. How much of that is operating in 2024? What are the big issues that you see when you are covering the elections now?
See, interestingly, let me start with this. In 2019, when the Shiv Sena and the BJP was running the campaign, Maharashtra had 4-phase elections. This time, Maharashtra has 5-phase elections. So just 1 phase extra, what we are having. In 2019, Prime Minister had 9 rallies in Maharashtra. Out of that, only 2 rallies for the alliance partner, that is Shiv Sena. Right. But broadly, Shiv Sena and the BJP used to run their own campaigns because their alliance was pretty well gelled. They have been in alliance since 25 years, except 2014 assembly breakup. But this time, this is 3rd phase will be coming on 7th of May. Till now, Prime Minister already had 12 rallies in Maharashtra, and he will be having 4 more in all.
So almost double the amount of rallies in the first 3 phases.
First 3 phases. So in all, by the 5th phase, it looks like that the Prime Minister will have almost 18 to 20 rallies.
Wow,
that's a huge jump. That clearly shows that what is going on in Maharashtra. They need to bring in Prime Minister for every 2.5 constituency. If you split that with 48, right?
That's correct.
So for every 2.5 constituency, Prime Minister is addressing a rally. That is part 1. And the second interesting part is that this time, out of 18, almost half of the rallies are for the alliance partners. Wow. In the constituency where the Shiv Sena candidate is there, or maybe the NCP candidate is there. Because they understood that it's finally the BJP who has to contest on all the 48. Even if the candidate is from Shinde or from Ajit Pawar, it's finally the BJP who will have to ensure that their vote gets properly transferred to the candidate of the alliance partner. So that, because till then, till 2019, it was like a well-oiled machinery. No one need to be told, this is our candidate, you need to vote for this guy. Now the things have changed. So this time, even if you look at the tickets, the BJP has not cut many tickets except Mumbai. So we'll come.
So it has retained most of its.
It has retained most of its members.
And just to sort of quickly think, the BJP is now contesting in 28 seats. That's 3 more than what they contested last time. Last time they had 25. How much did they give to the Shinde?
Eknath Shinde managed to get 15, and Ajit Pawar 4, and 1 they have given it to the 3rd alliance partner, the smaller partner, Rashtriya Samaj Party. From Parbhani. So it's all 48 seats they are contesting. So they have to concentrate on the seats where the alliance partner is also contesting.
And you were saying that they have retained most of the MPs except in Mumbai.
Except in Mumbai and few more places. But by and large, they have repeated the tickets to 14, 19 and 24. So
why do you think they've done that?
So they wanted to keep the status quo, because the situation is such that they don't want to experiment more. They have already experimented a lot, breaking a party, taking a symbol, taking a name. So they have the Shiv Sena and bow and arrow, the original symbol of Shiv Sena along their side. They actually have the Nationalist Congress Party and that watch along their side. But despite that, they think that they have experimented a lot. Now they don't want to experiment with the candidates as well. They just go with the flow. This particular person has represented the constituency for 2 consecutive terms. Let us repeat the person and let's see what happens. Let's mobilize our team resources to give him the candidate whatever it needs. Let's get the Prime Minister to address a rally for the person and then let him get elected. So that is how they are managing. And interestingly, even our Mood of the Nation survey doesn't show much of the difference between the vote shares. Despite doing everything, there is hardly couple of percent, 2 or 3% vote share difference between the NDA and MVA, which can always shift. Can always shift. And what I can see is that this time it is not like 14 and 19. It is not an election of wave.
Right.
The election, election is being contested at every constituency. It's constituency-wise.
Wow.
Every constituency has its arithmetic. Every constituency has its campaign, the candidate, the opposition candidate.
Right.
They waited in Mumbai North Central so that they wanted to see that which candidate Congress puts up, and accordingly they decided their candidate. So that
That is the one that
Mr. Ujjwal Nikam
is
Ujjwal Nikam is
dropping Poonam.
Poonam Mahajan. That is the
right.
constituency when they dropped Poonam Mahajan and asked Ujjwal Nikam to
And he was the prosecutor of the
2611 attacks, 1993 serial
And
blast.
why did they make that choice? Is he a very popular person? Is he a political animal or?
No, interestingly, he's not even from the constituency. He's not even a local from that particular constituency. But yes, he is a popular name in Maharashtra, specifically in the Marathi households. And you know, in city like Mumbai, after a very long time, I mean, one could have never imagined, especially after 1993 Mumbai riots, that this kind of combination can be seen in city like Mumbai. That is, you know, I call it Mamu combination.
Right.
Yeah, that is Marathi and Muslim.
Right.
At least 3 of the constituencies where we see that the Marathi population is almost 5.5 lakh, 6 lakh population. At the same time, the Muslim population in that particular constituency is 2.5 lakh to 4 lakh Muslims in that constituency. So just imagine if the Shiv Sena UBT gets the Muslim votes.
Is that what is happening now, that you see this Mamu or Mama phenomenon, whatever you'd like to call it, Mamu mean Maratha and Muslim combination? Is that something that is happening currently, that there is a, you know, the surprising thing that the Muslims are voting for the Shiv Sena UBT? Is that something that you anticipate?
You know, that is what is being seen. You know, the Shiv Sena and BJP does not have much of a difference in the vote share when it comes to Mumbai.
Right.
The 2017 Mumbai Municipal Corporation elections, the Shiv Sena got almost 28% of the vote share and BJP got 27%. So there's hardly a difference of 1%. But the difference between the votes, the people who voted for Shiv Sena and the BJP is that almost 70 to 80% of the Marathi voters voted for Shiv Sena, whereas the 70 to 80% of the Gujarati and the Rajasthani and North Indians voted for the BJP.
Right.
So the base of the BJP vote bank is of the non-Marathis, and the base of the Shiv Sena vote bank is of the Marathi speaking population from specifically the lower middle class and the middle class people in Mumbai. Now what has happened is that despite Eknath Shinde's split from Uddhav Thackeray, because Eknath Shinde doesn't have that hold in Mumbai, you know, the BJP is not sure that how many of those Marathi votes Shinde will bring to the table, you know. So that's why they're banking more on their core vote share, plus they're looking at somewhere if they can manage to split the Muslim vote share as well. You know, that's why we saw suddenly that people from Congress, the Muslim leaders from Congress started saying what happened in Delhi with Arvinder Singh Lovely. You know, he suddenly popped up and said, you know, I'm not happy with the way Aam Aadmi Party and Congress is having an alliance in Delhi. Similarly, what we are seeing in Mumbai, that the Muslim Congress leaders are standing up and saying that Congress has not given any ticket to the Muslims. They just want vote from the Congress. Suddenly, what we saw from the Samajwadi Party, that Abu Asim Azmi was toying with the idea that whether he can put up a Samajwadi Party candidate from Mumbai Northeast, where you know, his assembly constituency falls in, and where he thinks that, you know, if there is a Muslim candidate, there will be a split in the Muslim vote. So, you know, all those tactics are also being tried. But
and Mumbai has 10 totally?
6. Mumbai as a district has 6 constituencies. But overall, the MMR region, if you look at
with Thane
and Kalyan, it comes to almost 10 seats.
Correct, yes.
Yeah. So it comes to almost 10 seats.
So if you, I mean, the reverse could also be happening, given the fact that, one, the BJP had ruthlessly split the Shiv Sena, ruthlessly split the Ajit Pawar. Is brand BJP being diluted? Is there anger among the Marathis that this is not the way you should be running politics? Because BJP is always known as the party of the difference, and Prime Minister symbolizes that in terms of, like, you know, no corruption charges being held against him, or you know, nothing of that kind we saw in the UPA.
You know, interestingly, the BJP ran a very tight government in Maharashtra. And it is the only party which gave full 5 years term to the chief minister since very long time.
Devendra
Fadnavis. Since 1980 to 2014, none of the chief minister could manage to get 5 years term.
Right.
So he's the only chief minister from the BJP, by the BJP, that who had the full term. And to his credit, in a pre-poll alliance, he managed to get the full majority government back
Right.
If the 2019 fiasco couldn't have happened, he would have been a chief minister even today. But now what has happened is that because what the BJP did with Shiv Sena, somewhere the sentiment in Maharashtra thinks that, something it has not happened right.
Right.
Secondly, a lot of people against whom the BJP had made charges of corruption. The BJP ran its whole campaign around the irrigation scam, around the state cooperative banks, Maharashtra State Cooperative Bank scam. It targeted the Nationalist Congress Party, the NCP, for being to run a corrupt government. Prime Minister himself had come down to Maharashtra in 2014 and called NCP a naturally corrupt party. Despite he having a very warm relationship with Sharad Pawar, he called the Nationalist Congress Party a naturally corrupt party. Kirit Somaiya, anti-corruption crusader, had made a very serious allegations against at least 10 of the leaders from the NCP as well as Shiv Sena. And interestingly now, all those leaders against whom Kirit Somaiya had made those serious allegations are now with Eknath Shinde or with Ajit Pawar. So, somewhere it becomes difficult. That was the major plank by the BJP, that look, in 2019, Prime Minister always used to say that, look, we gave a 5-year term to a chief minister.
Corruption-free and whatever.
We ran a corruption-free government. There was no allegation against Devendra Fadnavis as far as the corruption is concerned.
Correct.
So now they cannot speak about the corruption.
And the washing machine analogy is beginning to work because all these guys suddenly have nothing, no charges being pressed against them.
So just imagine, 4 major scandals, which the BJP had accused the UPA government of. One other scam.
Right.
Ashok Chavan is now in the BJP, right? He is a BJP Rajya Sabha member now. The second allegation was about the irrigation scam, 70,000 crore irrigation scam. Exactly what the Prime Minister said. Ajit Pawar is now with he's a alliance partner of the BJP. Then the Maharashtra Southern scam against Chhagan Bhujbal. He's also in Ajit Pawar's NCP and an alliance with the BJP. Then the Maharashtra State Cooperative Bank scam, again against Ajit Pawar. The ED had started taking an action against Ajit Pawar. The sugar factory owned by Ajit Pawar's alleged company. And now again he's with. So the 4 big scandals on which the BJP created this image of the UPA government being corrupt. Now it becomes very difficult to go back to the people and tell them, look, we had to do it for the arithmetic, otherwise we wouldn't have taken them. That sounds a bit difficult. That's why I think they had to bring in the Prime Minister again and again and again and again to explain to people that why this has happened. And look at the interviews. In every interview, be it Amit Shah's interview, Devendra Fadnavis's interview, even the Prime Minister's interview, what we have seen till now, everywhere this question has always been raised about the ED and of course why you broke the 2 parties and what actually happened.
What is your sense on the ground? Is that hurting the BJP and that's the reason why they're so concerned that they're not being able to pull the crowd as they did earlier and maybe the votes would start coming down as a result of that?
This election in Maharashtra is all about arithmetic. Whichever candidate or the alliance gets that arithmetic right in a particular constituency is going to get that constituency. That's
no chemistry, all merit.
No chemistry, because on both the sides,
right.
If you look at the chemistry, there is no question of having a chemistry together. Look at Uddhav Thackeray's speeches before 2019.
Right.
He hated Sharad Pawar for what he did to Shiv Sena in 2014. He hated Congress because that is the only way Shiv Sena developed its base in Maharashtra.
Right.
But now they are together. On the other hand, Devendra Fadnavis created his image of anti-corruption crusader because he was making those allegations against Ajit Pawar.
Right.
Now they are together. So, from both the sides, there is no chemistry. It's all about arithmetic. The only difference being that because Sharad Pawar, Uddhav Thackeray and Congress are together since 2019, at least it gave them a chance to at least show to their cadre that why they have come together.
Right.
It has always this is not the first time what we are seeing this. The parties with different ideologies have come together against the might of a bigger political party. We have seen it in 1967 when for the first time Jan Sangh and Socialists came together to form the Sanyukta Vidhayak Dal governments in UP and Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. against the Congress because the Congress had this hubris of being a biggest party. Similarly, now they are selling this to the people that look, what the BJP is doing is anti-Maharashtra. BJP is trying to kill down the regional parties, and that's where the problem will start. You know, if you remember before, in the beginning of this program, I had said that interestingly, the Maharashtra, every party has its loyal vote share.
Right.
So Maharashtra is a state where you will not find floating votes, you know, because every party has its fixed vote share since 2014. Right. There are no floating votes. So the election doesn't swing.
Right.
So either one block has to go to the other side so that that swing can happen.
How much of this, you know, the fact there's a lot of accusations that since the Prime Minister and the Home Minister come from Gujarat and a lot of the projects have gone to Gujarat, which should have come to Maharashtra, is that having any dent, which is what something the opposition, the MVA is talking about?
See, you know, that we will have to see because, you know, interestingly, for the first time, Maharashtra has, I could see that almost 30% of the votes are floating votes in Maharashtra at this point of time. Nobody actually knows. None of the poll stars know at this point of time that how many votes actually will, out of these 19% votes which Shiv Sena, United Shiv Sena used to hold, how many percent will be going with Uddhav Thackeray and how many percent will go with Eknath Shinde. So that vote share is like that. But this is the only way they can, they can create a challenge against what the NDA is running a campaign that vote for Modi. You know, don't look at the regional issues, vote for Modi. Don't look at the arithmetic, vote for Modi because finally we are voting for the Prime Minister, not for anything else. You know, for Assembly we will talk separately, but this is the Prime Ministerial election. This is a parliamentary election. So to counter that, this is the only strategy they have. You know, look at what they are doing to Maharashtra. The dominance of BJP will snatch the projects to some other state because they don't consider Maharashtra is important.
Right.
Whereas we are the regional parties and for us Maharashtra is important.
Right.
That is what they are trying to play. It may not play in the rural Maharashtra, but it may have some takers in the MMR belt, especially where I told you about the Marathi votes. The Marathi.
When you say MMR belt, could you just define it?
So MMR is basically Mumbai metropolitan region, which is Mumbai, Thane, Kalyan, Navi Mumbai, you know, Palghar.
Which is a very large area. Yeah.
It's like NCR, you know, to talk about the Delhi terms.
Right.
So it is basically that.
Now, the other things, we've got about 5-8 minutes left, so let's talk about 2 or 3 things. One is the fact that Shiv Sena, UBT, is contesting 21 seats, right, in that one. Out of that, close to 15 seats are directly with the Eknath Shinde group.
Correct.
Now, this is a battle that will determine which is the real Sena, as we say.
Correct.
Will the real Sena stand up? Where do you see that thing? Is that something that will, you see the sympathy for UBT still there, or is it diminished since the split happened?
See, I think that sympathy is still there. You know, you go on the ground, people talk about that. But eventually, as you go closer to the elections, multiple things play in their mind. And, you know, this time the elections are also being fought on the social media. You know, now that everybody has learned the art of social media. It's not only the BJP or the Congress.
And in fact, neutralizes the BJP's advantage of having a lot of campaign resources.
Correct.
Right? Because these guys can reach out
on the social media.
That's right.
What I can see that what Uddhav Thackeray is trying to do is that he wanted the maximum number of seats so that his symbol can reach out to the maximum number of people. He can get the required vote percentage so that his party gets the recognition and the symbol for the assembly election. So it's like a precursor for assembly elections. So he's fighting the Lok Sabha elections, but it's like a preparation for the assembly elections. For BJP, the assembly is not that important at this point of time. For the BJP, it's Lok Sabha because they want, by hook or crook, they want to repeat their performance what they had in 14 and 19. But for Uddhav Thackeray, the assembly is more important. So he's trying to establish his new party, the Shiv Sena UBT, along with that, the symbol which he has, the new symbol which he has got, by getting a particular percentage of
that
vote.
Symbol?
That's the torch which he has got. The torch which he has got. So that he wants to establish among the voters, and that is his game plan, what I can see. Similarly, with the NCP also, and interestingly, for everyone at this point of time, be it Congress, BJP, Shiv Sena, UBT, Eknath Shinde, Ajit Pawar or Sharad Pawar, it's fight to finish. If they perform well, they will continue in politics. Otherwise, they will perish. That's very clear. So they know that this is where we have to stick on. You know, we have to at least get to the number where we can continue our politics for 6 more months.
Right.
Because immediately in October 2024 they will have to face the voters again, maybe with the new combination. So there will be a lot of permutation combinations. If suppose hypothetically, if the Shiv Sena UBT gets more than 10 seats,
right,
it establishes that Uddhav Thackeray still is the leader. And then you will see a lot of defections from the Eknath Shinde side. But if that doesn't happen, if Uddhav Thackeray performs very poorly and BJP and NDA could manage to repeat their performance, then we'll see the emergence of Eknath Shinde as a factor on his own.
And also the same holds for NCP.
Same holds for
whether Ajit Pawar will think. How do you see that battle? There again, is there a sympathy for the older Pawar? Or, and they also fighting, as we've seen in Baramati, the wife of Ajit Pawar versus the daughter of Sharad Pawar. So that's an incredible family battle.
It was the most unimaginable family battle because Maharashtra has always seen the tussle within the family being split. We saw in Thackeray's, we saw in Munde's, that Gopinath Munde's nephew split with him and joined hands with Ajit Pawar. So, all those family battles we have seen. But the Pawar was a very close-knit family with assigned responsibilities, and so that their paths shouldn't cross each other. Like Ajit Pawar was given completely responsibility of the Maharashtra Assembly and Supriya Sule was for the Lok Sabha. But it started having a problem when finally, one has to decide that who is actually going to control the party, and that's where actually these flashes started coming in. Now, that this split had to happen one or the other day. Now, interestingly, this time it looks like that Ajit Pawar has been given only one mandate by the BJP, that whatever happens, we want a victory in Baramati. We could manage that in Amethi, we could manage that in Rai Bareli, and they couldn't have.
That's the prize.
That's the prize. So don't look for the numbers. You get us Baramati, then we'll see what we can do for you during assembly.
Final word from you. We've had a fascinating discussion. Personally, when you look at this, where do you see this battle going? Your judgment, 3 phases almost done. What's your?
Well, I think the result of the Maharashtra elections in Maharashtra will depend on how many percentage of the vote the Shiv Sena UBT controls, and of course what the Sharad Pawar gets during this election. But according to me, right now it is more localized election, and despite everything, this election is the toughest for the BJP. They are still not clear.
So are you giving it a 50-50 at the moment, or are you tilting the balance in the BJP?
I won't put the numbers at this point of time because
But where is the wind blowing?
I think somewhere it will be 50-50. Somewhere it will be 50-50. It will still be tougher. It will not be easy for the BJP to get back to the whatever they have got in 2014 and 19. It will still be tough.
For sticking your neck out, Sahil. No one else would do it. But thank you very much. It's been a fascinating discussion. For more details on this battle on Maharashtra, as well as the other swing states, do read the latest issue of India Today, where we have covered the entire range of the swing states, and we're calling it the battle for survival. And that's precisely what is there. Thank you for listening to this episode of Nothing But the Truth. I look forward to having you with me next week. Nothing but the truth.